Self-proclaimed techno-king, Elon Musk recently came on Twitter with a poll seeking his followers' opinions on selling stocks. He claimed he would sell 10% of his shares if they voted yes. His followers responded in the affirmative, and now after about 2 months, he's finally rounded up selling all the shares of the 10% he'd promised. Despite this, the Tesla CEO ended up with more shares than he had before he began selling. What's the motive behind him selling the shares? How did he end up with even more shares? We'll answer these questions and more in today's video, so be sure to keep watching. Elon Musk has finally completed the exercise of his management stock options and sold Tesla stock. In the first week of November 2021, the celeb CEO surveyed his tens of millions of Twitter followers, asking if he should sell 10% of his Tesla stock. Much has been made recently of my unrealized gains being a means of tax avoidance, so I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock, Musk tweeted in November of 2021 to his 63 million Twitter followers. Do you agree with this? 58% of the 3.5 million responses he got replied yes, implying that Musk, who promised to abide by the findings of the poll, will follow through on his promise. However, a large number of the sales that resulted from the amusing Twitter poll were part of a strategy we believe Musk implemented. Since Musk's tweet, speculation has swirled that the PR-savvy billionaire isn't actually looking out for the government's best interests, and it's possible he didn't only want to sell Tesla stock, it's also possible he had to. Tesla's stock has increased by more than 54%, making Musk the world's wealthiest person. Forbes estimates that his net wealth has risen to almost $275 billion. Musk announced in a tweet that he'll pay more than $11 billion in taxes, responding to a criticism from lawmakers like Elizabeth Warren, who dubbed Musk a freeloader on social media. According to Warren and other senior Democrats, billionaires like Musk are avoiding paying taxes. I don't have any offshore accounts and no tax shelters, Musk said, adding that he could do his taxes in a matter of hours. Everything is blatantly obvious. Almost all of his estimated $271 billion fortune is invested in his two primary businesses, SpaceX, a private spaceflight corporation, and Tesla, the electric automaker. Musk refuses to take a salary, owns no property, and has described himself as financially illiquid. Since asking his Twitter followers in November if he should sell part of his Tesla stock, Musk has been dumping shares. Experts think the action is part of a strategy to generate cash to satisfy a tax liability of more than $10 billion he's expected to pay on stock options he's about to exercise. That's because Musk owed a colossal tax bill. He controlled 17% of Tesla's stock, as well as $92 billion in stock options that allowed him to acquire more at a reduced price. One set of these options expires in August 2022, which means that Musk must exercise his right to purchase the stock before then, or options would expire and he'll be receiving nothing. The problem is that when Musk exercises his options, he'll owe taxes because he is cash-strapped. Some options can be exercised without triggering immediate taxes, and the proceeds from the stock sales are taxed at lower capital gains rates. But Musk's options, also known as non-qualified options, will almost certainly be subject to the much higher ordinary income tax rate imposed on non-qualified options. Musk sold $16 billion in stock last year and gave 5 million shares worth of nearly $6 billion to an unknown charity in November. Overall, this is estimated to be around $22 billion, which includes tax payments, cash in his pocket, and the gift. Despite this, he now owns 564,000 more shares than he did before the sell-off began. Regardless of his commitment to follow a poll he conducted to his Twitter followers, which asked for him to sell 10% of his Tesla stock, a review of his feelings suggests Musk is sticking to his guns. He sold 10.1 million shares so far, falling approximately 7 million short of his target. That's because at the same time he's selling his shares, he's exercising options to buy more, and he's doing so at the low price of $6.24 per share. Less than 1% of Tesla's current stock price. Musk started turning the 22.8 million options into shares first, which is how the options exercises work. He could pay $6.24 for every option and acquire a share of Tesla stock, which was selling for more than $1,000 last October. A stock option is a financial contract that gives individuals the right, but not the obligation, to purchase a specific number of firm shares at today's market price in the future. As a result, stock options allow CEOs to profit if the company's stock price rises, while also preventing them from losing money if the stock price falls. Because the contract isn't binding in the latter situation, CEOs can just walk away from the deal. The objective is to provide risk-averse CEOs with the incentives to take risks in order to boost stock prices and thus their salary. This is also beneficial to shareholders who gain from a higher stock price. However, this could lead to CEOs taking undue risks with their company's strategy. No foreigner to strategy stunts, Musk has been accused of trying to manipulate the market into stock prices spiking. He's still dealing with allegations of this from the Securities and Exchange Commission, which began in 2018. Corporate insiders, including CEOs, can trade their own stock as part of a pre-announced portfolio management plan under 10b5-1 guidelines, a regulation enacted by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. To avoid being accused of insider trading later, they must declare when and how they plan to trade ahead of time. Hence our belief that the poll had a backstory and was more than Musk seeking his followers' opinions and input on the matter of tax gains. Musk may be aiming to free up cash for other projects, pay his own debt, or avoid future taxes. He may have lost tens of billions of dollars as a result of a recent proposal to tax the unrealized gains of America's wealthiest people. Though lawmakers are still proposing an 8% point surcharge on adjusted gross income beyond $25 million, which could add billions to Musk's tax obligations on future option exercises and stock sales, the plan has been drastically scaled back. Musk raked in about $22 billion in stock sales, option exercises, tax payment sales, and donated shares. He exercised another 1.6 million management stock options, purchasing shares at a price of $6.24 a share. To pay the gains taxes, he sold 934,090 shares. At the time of exercise, stock options were taxed like regular income. Despite selling so many Tesla shares, according to his bonus arrangement, he would still own a greater stake in the firm. Because the options are taxed as ordinary income, he would sell shares to pay the taxes with each option conversion. Even as he was dumping billions of dollars in stock to pay taxes, he was collecting even more stock at the low options price, increasing his ownership of the company. Because he received options as his major source of remuneration, he is susceptible to a substantial income tax hit whenever he exercises them. On the new shares he's bought since November 8th, he owes nearly $5 billion in federal income taxes. He will almost certainly owe state income taxes as well. According to the filings, Musk sold Tesla stock specifically to cover the tax bill. He also intends to exercise other options that will expire this year. And he still has 12.2 million options that are about to expire that he hasn't used. He'll probably sell around 5.3 million of those freshly acquired shares to settle his tax obligation based on prior experience. However, he will still be left with virtually nothing. Musk sold 15.7 million shares for $16.4 billion total. He offloaded a total of 20.7 million shares, including the given shares. Despite the options exercise, he gained 22.8 million shares, leaving him with 2 million more shares in Tesla at the end of the year. He presently holds 172.6 million shares, or 17% of the corporation, making him the company's single largest shareholder. Once he's done with these soon-to-expire alternatives, he will have 22.9 million fewer options than he had in the outset of this procedure. But he'll still have 50.7 million other options that will enable him to buy that many new shares. Musk may sell more stock around the middle of 2022, though on a small scale. In the end, he delivered on his commitment to sell 10% of his stock, but he got even more using options, which provided him a round-trip stock journey that netted him billions of dollars in cash, the highest single tax payment in US history, and even more Tesla shares. Elon Musk's stake in Tesla and his $227 billion fortune is certain to rise more in the future. In 2028, his next major salary package, which should be much bigger than the one he received in 2012, will expire. Whichever the reason, and despite Musk's claim that he was prepared to accept either conclusion, it appears that Musk was preparing to sell part of his Tesla stock regardless of Twitter's reaction. Why do you think Elon Musk sold his shares? What are your thoughts on stock options as a form of remuneration for CEOs? Comment down below.